Hi people, it's me Anja, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new Scythe video. The first book on this list is called Shifting Stalls. This book is a middle grade contemporary and it was so good. I ended up rating this book 5 stars. It follows a pair of twins, Audrey and Claire, as they grapple with their brother's death and their changing relationships with each other and with themselves. I love this book so much. The writing was so eloquent. I fell in love with both Audrey and Claire, and it had dual perspective, which worked really well, because there was never a time where I preferred like Audrey's perspective over Claire's. You know what I mean? Like, I loved both of their characters as a whole. They were both such wonderful people, and I love the diversity shown in both of their perspectives, because one sister is on the autism spectrum, I'm pretty sure, and the other one is gender fluid, and she's questioning her gender identity throughout her arc, and it was done so well. As a person who's also on the autism spectrum, I just love to see that type of diversity in a story like this, and I can't speak for like the gender fluid like representation because I'm cis, but like it was done so well. I love this book so much. Aside from the diversity, it was also just a wonderful, eloquent story, and I loved it so much. If I ever make a part 2 to my favorite middle grade contemporaries, which I probably will be, this book will definitely be on that list, because this book is a favorite for 2020, because it was absolutely so well done. The next book on this list is called Even If We Break. This book is a YA thriller, and I ended up giving it 3 stars. It follows a group of friends who are tied together by a game, and it follows them through a deadly weekend that tears them apart. I enjoy this book. I liked the characters, but I will say that this is one of those stories where I liked the characters, but I didn't really care about like what was happening to them, which is obviously like not ideal, because like for me to like really enjoy a story and really fall in love with it, I need to not only fall in love with the characters, but also fall in love with like what's happening to them as well. And even though there was an action-packed, fast-paced plot, like I didn't like fall in love with like the world building or anything that was happening. Maybe I was like feeling a little bit biased because out of all of these authors' books, I enjoyed this book more than her previous books, but that just goes to show that for me, this author is just not that good of a writer, because like personally, I just didn't fall in love with the story. And also at the end, like I didn't really understand the antagonist's motives. And also I felt like there were some questions that logistically were never answered, and I feel like I can't ask those questions because then I would spoil the story. So there's that. Basically, A, this book is the strongest out of these authors' books, and B, I just didn't love it as much as I really wanted to, so that's why I gave it 3 stars. The next book on this list is called Trowbridge Road. I don't know if it's supposed to be pronounced Trowbridge or Trowbridge, but anyway, this story is middle grade historical fiction. It's set in the 80s. There's a trigger warning for child abuse, and it follows a young girl named June who has a heavy secret, and this follows her as she awakens her sleepy street to the complexities of love and courage. I really enjoy this story because the writing and the world building just sucked me in immediately. June is such a wonderful character, and the friendship between her and Ziggy was so lovely. This story is so eloquent, and it was just done so well. The choices that the author made with like crafting June's character arc, with choosing to set the story in the 80s, was done so well. There was never a point in time where I thought to myself that this story would have been better if it was set in modern day or set earlier or like whenever. Like this story was done so well, and it was so eloquent and so lovely and so wonderful, and this book is kind of underrated as well. I don't know why, because it's done so well, and I really enjoyed it, and I gave it 4 stars. And I would like to apologize for the sound that you can hear. Actually, I don't know like how bad it is today, but I can hear it, so maybe you can too, but I can't control it. So anyway, this story was 4 stars, and I really enjoyed it, so I hope that you too will enjoy it too. The next story to talk about is called Hood. This story is a YA fantasy and it follows Isabel, and when she becomes the target of an enemy, she seeks out the only person who can help her, her dad, Robin Hood. This story was done so well. I really enjoyed the world building and the writing, the action-packed, fast-paced plot. I enjoyed Isabel's character development. Her character arc was so lovely, and the found family dynamic within the friend group was done so well. If you didn't know, found family is one of my favorite tropes, and I love it when I find it in YA fantasy, because I absolutely loved the story so much. Like, I think the story may be a debut book, but at any rate, this story is the first one that I've read by this author, and I will gladly pick up anything more that she writes, because this story was done so well. It was eloquent, it was lovely, it was wonderful. I loved being sucked into this world, and it was just done so well. I think that this story may be considered like a Robin Hood retelling, which I personally wouldn't market it as, because it's not really retelling Robin Hood, because like Isabel is Robin Hood's daughter, you know what I mean? I don't count the story as a retelling because Robin Hood still exists in this universe, you know what I mean? So anyway, basically, this book was so good, and I gave it 4 stars. The last book on this list is called Scythe, written by Neal Shusterman. This is the first book in a somewhat popular trilogy. I gave this book 3 stars. I would say that I enjoyed this book as much as I enjoyed The Maze Runner, in the sense that the story does not live up to its hype, and I am not continuing this trilogy. So anyway, if you didn't know, this story is YA dystopian, and it's set in a world where everybody is immortal, so scythes are hired to glean random people so that like the population doesn't overpopulate, I'm pretty sure. So basically this story follows 2 people who were selected to become scythes. So I enjoyed the action-packed, fast-paced plot. I thought that the concept of scythes and the whole world building and politics were unique, but like I was more interested in what was happening than who it was happening to, and I never found myself being emotionally connected to the characters, you know what I mean? So I wasn't really interested into where their journey was headed after this one, but I don't regret reading this book. So yeah, like I said, I'm not continuing this series. I have absolutely no interest into what would happen next, you know what I mean? So that's why I say that Scythe does not live up to its hype. So yeah. So in conclusion, the highest rating book on this list was definitely Under Shifting Stars, because that story was so good. The lowest rating book on this list was definitely Even If We Blake. So basically I recommend all of the books on this list except Even If We Blake and Scythe. So anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below your thoughts on any of these books. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you're new. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!